Hi, grade 12. So today I'm going to do Sigma notation questions with you. I'm going to do 4 questions with you. This one is an arithmetic sum question, and this one is also an arithmetic sum question. But can you see this one is equal to a number? And then this is geometric, just normal Sigma notation. And then I'm going to do this one. Can you see it's equal to a number? So whenever it's equal to a number like that, we're going to work backwards. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Make sure you understand and make good notes. This example says you have to calculate the following. So we are only calculating. If they give you the question like this, you must just remember that you have to calculate the sum of a series. So step number 1, find the first 3 terms and find the last term. Then step number 2 is calculate how many terms there are in the series. So I'm going to show you how. And step number 3 is to sub your information into the appropriate formula. So if it's arithmetic, you use that sum formula. And if it's geometric, you use that sum formula. Okay, just remember, arithmetic has 2 types. So there's 2 types for arithmetic and there's 1 type for geometric. So let's start. Step number 1 says find the first 3 terms and the last term. Now to find the first 3 terms, I'm going to write the sigma notation again. Okay, now to find the first 3 terms, to find term 1, I sub in this number into the general term. So to find term 1, I'm going to sub in that number. You see, I sub in 2. So whatever this number is will give me the first term. So the answer here is 3. Then, to get term 2, I sub in the number after 2. So if this is 2, the number after that is 3. So then I'm going to sub in 3. But this will give me the 6. So this answer here is 1. Okay. Then, to get the third term, I'm going to sub in the next number. So I subbed in 2, I subbed in 3. So now I'm going to sub in 4. So therefore goes in. And here I get negative 1. And then for the last term, I'm subbing in this number. Let's go. For the last term, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sub in that number. And then my answer is negative 193. So this is my last term. So now, when I look at my terms, term 1 is 3. Term 2 is 1. Term 3 is negative 1. And the last term is negative 193. So when I look at this series, I see, oh, it's an arithmetic series. So I have 2 kinds of formulas. The first formula I can use is this one. So I can either use that one or I can use this one. Or I can use that one. So with this one, I don't need the last term. And with this one, I need the last term. So for both of these formulas, you need 3 things. So for both of the formulas, you need A, you need D, and you need N. And then for this formula here, you also need L. So let's quickly see. A is the first term, so that's 3. D is the constant difference, so which is T2 minus T1. 1 minus 3, I get negative 2. N is the number of terms. I'm going to show you how to work that out. And then the last term is negative 193. So to work out how many terms there are, this N over there, I'm going to write my sigma notation down again to show you. To get the number of terms, so to get N, we say top minus bottom number plus 1. I'm going to say top, so this number, minus this number, plus 1, and that gives me 99. There are 99 terms in the series. I actually have to calculate the first 99 terms. Okay, so let's go. Now I'm going to use my formula. Remember I told you, you either use this one or you use this one. I'm going to do both, and then you decide which one you want to use, eh? I write my formula down. Then remember I said A is 3. Constant difference is -2. The number of terms is 99. And the last term is -193. So I'm calculating the sum of the first 99 terms. So A is 99 over 2. 2 times A is 3 plus. Then N is 99. And then D is, remember, it's times -2. Close bracket. All on your calculator. You should get -9405. And that's how you calculate the sum of any series if they give it to you in sigma notation. So let's use the other formula now. If you want to use the other formula, it's this one. It's this one. So N is 99 over 2. A is 3. The last term is -193. Close. All on your calculator. And you get the same. Now let's look at the next kind of example. Here we also have sigma notation. And can you see the difference with this question? The sigma notation is actually equal to a number. When the sum is given, we will work backwards. What do we do now? I'm going to give you the steps again, and then we take it from there. Step number 1 is find the first 3 terms. You can't find the last term because it's N on top, Okay, so find the first 3 terms. Term 1, term 2, and term 3. Then you have to decide, is this an arithmetic or geometric series? Let's write that. So let's figure out, is it arithmetic, is it geometric, or even it can be quadratic, okay? Then step number 3 is, because there's sigma notation, we're going to work with the sum. But in this case, the sum is given. Then I'm going to sub everything into the sum formula. So this is the sum formula. And then I'm going to work backwards. And I'm going to solve for N. So, okay, these 2 steps. So let's go. Step number 1, find the first 3 terms. Now, to find the first term, you have to sub in this number into the general term. To get term 1, I sub in this 1 into that. 6 times 1 minus 1 gives me 5. Term 1 is 5. Term 2 is 6 times 2 minus 1. And that gives me 11. Term 3, 6 times 3. That gives me 17. So I have my first 3 terms. As you can see, I'm adding 6 the whole time. That means this is an arithmetic series. Now, I'm going to write my... Now, remember grade 12, I need A. A is the first term, so A is 5. I need D. D is the constant difference. So it's term 2 minus term 1. So 11 minus 5 is 6. Okay, what else do I need? I need the number of terms. So I need NA. Now with this question, this N is not always N. In this case, it will be, because I'm going to do top minus bottom plus 1. Let's go. Top N. So N minus bottom. So top minus bottom plus 1 is still N. It's not always N. You must do the step, N stays in. And then what else must we find? Oh, is in. So the sum was given. The sum, when you look at this question, look here. There's our sum, 4, 5, 6. So the sum is given. The sum is 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to use this information. And I'm going to put it in this formula. So let's go. So Fn is 4, 5, 6. Then N stays in. N over 2. 2 times A is 5. Plus N stays in. and D is 6. Close bracket. Okay, and from here, leave number patterns. We're doing algebra now. Let's solve for n. I think let's simplify that and simplify that. 4, 5, 6, n over 2. Simplify. So this is going to give me 10. This times this is plus 6n. This times this is minus 6. Okay, the next step is, let's add the like terms in this bracket. 4, 5, 6, n over 2, 6n plus 4. Okay, that's what we have so far. Now, I'm going to get rid of this 2 over here. So I'm going to multiply my left-hand side by 2. So if I multiply 4, 5, 6 times 2, I get 912. So I'm going to do this, 912 in 6n plus 4. Okay? And then I'm going to remove the brackets that. So I'm going to have 912, 6n squared plus 4n. And I'm going to put this thing in standard form, 0. So I'm going to have 6n squared plus 4n minus 912. And then I'm going to divide all of my terms by 2 just to make it easier, because 2 can go into that, that, and that. So let's write, I'm going to divide everything by 2. This stays 0. This is 3n squared plus 2n minus 456. Okay? Now you can factorize, or you can use the quadratic formula. So I'm going to factorize, but you can use the quadratic formula. So 3n and n. The numbers are 38 and 12. This is a plus and this is a minus. If you struggle with this, use the quadratic formula. So n is equal to negative 38 over 3, or n is 12. Now remember, n can't be a negative. N can't be a decimal. I'm going to cancel this. N is 12. The sum of 12 terms will add up to 456. Let's look at the question again. The sum of the first 12 terms will add up to 456. Let's do sigma notation again. We are busy with geometric series, but the steps are the same. So let's look at the first example. It just says calculate. We are just calculating the sum of. Here's the steps. Let's go. Step number 1, if it's only calculate, find term 1, term 2, and term 3. Step number 2, find out the number of terms. The number of terms. Remember I told you? It's top minus bottom, so 1. Okay? And then you sub it into the formula. So, the sum for a geometric pattern, eh? And this is all you do. Do you remember I said we sub in this number into the general? So for term 1, I'm going to sub in 0. So 3 times negative 2 to the 0 minus 1. Okay, let's see what we get. I get negative 3 over 2. Okay, and then for term 2, we do the same. 3 times negative 2. So the next number after 0 is 1. And here I get 3. And then for term 3, the next number after 1 is 2. And I get negative 6. Okay, there's my first 3 terms. And as you can see, we are multiplying the whole time with the same number. Eh? We are multiplying with negative 2. R is negative 2. So let's see. Term 2 over term 1, because that's odd. is 3 over negative 3 over 2, and I get negative 2. That's my R. This is a geometric number pattern. And now I'm going to do top minus bottom plus 1. Let me write the sigma notation down again. Top minus bottom, let's do it. Top is 19. 19 minus 0 plus 1 is 20. So there are 20 terms in this pattern. I have to calculate step number 3, the sum of the first 20 terms. Let's write the formula down. There's only one formula, although there's 2 ways to write it. You can use any one. Let's write down on the side. The first term, A, was negative 3 over 2. And then R was negative 2. And then N, the number of terms, we work it out, it was 20. 20 minus 1 over R again, minus 1. All on the calculator. You can even put this in brackets if you want to. The answer is 524,287,5. That's the sum of the first 20 terms. Okay, let's look at the next example. Determine M. So here the sigma notation is equal to a number. It means I'm going to work backwards and I'm going to solve for this letter, which is M on top there. I want to know how many terms will add up to 24 and a fifth. That's actually the question. Let's write down the steps again. Step number 1, find the first 3 terms. Why do we do this? Because we want to find out, is it arithmetic or geometric? Okay? Then step number 2, the number of terms, top minus bottom plus 1. And then 3, we're going to sub in the formula, and then we're going to solve for n. That's our step. So let's start. Step number 1, find the first 3 terms. So let's rub this out. The first 3 terms. So for term 1, I'm subbing in 2 into what? I'm going to sub in 2 into the general term. You see, there is the general term. So I'm going to sub in 2. So let's go. 1 over 15, 3, and I make K2. So that number minus 1. And my answer is 0,2. Then I do the same for term 2. So for term 2, I sub in the next number. So the number after 2 is 3. So I go 3 minus 1. And I get 0,6. Then I get term 3. What's the next number? 4. So 4 minus 1. And I get 1,8. Let's see what this is. This is 3. And let's do this one over that one just to double check. What's T3 over T2? 1,8 over 0,6. It's also 3. So there is a constant ratio. Okay? So this is the first term. And our constant ratio is 3. Okay, so that was step 1. Find the first 3 terms. Step number 2. Find out the number of terms. Eh? Top minus bottom plus 1. So let's go. Top, what's on top? M. So top minus, what's at the bottom? 2 plus 1. What's M minus 2 plus 1? It's M minus 1. And then we're going to sub into the formula. Now, because it's geometric, I'm going to write the formula down. And then on the side, I'm quickly going to write A was what again? 0,2. R was 3, and M was actually the number of terms is M minus 1. I'm going to sub, and I'm working backwards. Sn is the 24 and the first. So Fa is 24, 1 over 5. Okay? A is 0,2. And then R is 3. R is 3 to the, what's in? It's M minus 1. And then minus 1. Close the bracket. This whole thing over R, 3 minus 1. So, okay, I'm going to rewrite everything. Okay, from here we're doing the algebra. The first thing I would do is I would simplify that. So I'm going to rewrite everything. This becomes 2, okay? Then I would take this 2 and I would multiply it there, okay? When you multiply, so I get 48,4, and then I just leave everything like this. Okay, now I would divide everything by 0,2. Divide to get rid of the 0,2. But what I do there, I do there. So on the left-hand side, I get 242. This and this will cancel. I'm left with 3 to the m minus 1 minus 1. Then I bring the 1 over. Now I get 242 plus 1 is 3 to the m minus 1. This gives me 243. Then I get 3 to the m minus 1. Then I make the base numbers the same. This gives me 3 to the 5. 3 to the m minus 1. Drop the bases. So this is m is equal to 5 plus 1. M is 6.